October 2nd, everybody, 2024, good day. This is going to be your Santa Clarita real estate update, monitoring the last 7 days in Santa Clarita Valley. You can bet on currently 521 active real estate listings on the market. That's going to be all residential. Coming soon listings 17, 61 properties have hit the market in the last 7 days. We have 77 properties that have had their prices changes. Super important to price that property right at the very beginning so you're not constantly chasing the market. Back on market properties 20, active under contract properties 29. Properties have gone into escrow. That's what that means, 29. 54 properties have had their status changed from being in escrow to a much deeper form where they're not accepting any backup offers, showing that those sellers are pretty secure in those offers that they have. Last week we've sold in the past 7 days about 10 listings per day. 70 have closed in all of Santa Clarita Valley. We have 9 that expired, 11 have canceled, 13 properties have been put on hold, 4 have withdrawn, and we have now a total of 521 active listings. So with 77 price changes in the last 7 days, sellers are definitely making different moves to attract buyers. One of those things happens to be a price reduction online. And what that does for a seller, for those of you that haven't been in the real estate market ever, or it's been a while, that's going to implement a change online, and that change is going to spear off a lot of re-advertising, remarketing on that listing, because the syndication systems and those systems online that have been built to basically take your personal information and try to get you to do something, buy or sell, to influence you in a certain way, those systems now heat up, and then they see that new price change, and then they reflect that onto the market. And anybody visiting those sites, they use that as a catalyst to attract even more people because they consider themselves much more relevant. So that's that game. So just watch out for that. Moving into the back on properties, we see this frequently. Usually every week we have about a third of the real estate inventory that sells. We have about that number reflected in those properties that fall out of escrow. These are properties that were on the market, have then become under contract with a buyer, and then they come back onto the market because they've fallen out of escrow. Lots of different reasons for this. First and foremost, though, it usually isn't a result of something discovered in the home. It's usually a buyer issue. Maybe the buyer changed their mind, but typically it's not real estate related as far as the subject property goes, the property that they're in escrow with. It usually comes from the outside. Maybe they've had some change in employment. Maybe they've had their hours cut, God forbid. Maybe the economy's gotten to them, and maybe they went out and tried to finance something or have their credit run for a motor vehicle within the escrow process. That's a problem. So any credit change for you buyers out there, anything you want to do, whether it's pay off a credit card, which of course in all intents and purposes, we would all think that's cool and it's going to help our credit score. In some cases it doesn't help because those the people have that credit card, they might decide to cut your credit lower than your largest amount. So let's say the credit card has a $10,000 limit and you say, you know what, I bet you it's going to help if I pay it off. So you go ahead and wipe it out, pay it off. Then that credit card company says, you know what, they don't need the $10,000. Maybe we had too much risk in that particular asset, being you, and now we're going to go ahead and reduce that credit to $5,000. That could impact your FICO score negatively, and all you did was pay off a debt. Any changes in credit, don't be a back on market property person unless you really intend to. Any change in your financial wherewithal, before you have your credit run, before you see if you can get that credit card or finance anything else, when you're in escrow, make sure you communicate all of those things to your lender before you do it to make sure it's not going to affect anything. Furthermore, let me give you this. You call the lender. You say, hey, Jack, it's Connor. I want to go out and finance a $100,000 Ford Raptor. And then he goes, oh, Connor, you're just made of gold. No problem. You can do that all day long without an issue. Then I want to follow up an email, make a follow-up email to the lender and say, listen, I just got off the phone. Thank you so much with your faith and trust in me, but I'm going to go out and finance a $100,000 car. You said that I'm going to be okay staying in the real estate transaction. There's not going to be an issue with financing. I just wanted to make sure I understood it correctly. And then you might get a different response. But that goes both ways, right? It cuts both ways. If you're a person that's in escrow and it's not a $100,000 car, but you go out and you maybe try to pay something off, it could have negative consequences. trying to finance a vehicle. You might already be tapped out with the residence. God forbid you go out and try to apply for a car loan on top of that. What they call debt to income ratio could be affected to such a point that you actually cannot continue with the real estate transaction. Do yourselves a favor. Any change, reach out to your agent, your lender, and find out. Competition is definitely heating up. We do have the active under contract pending sales, 83 total. These are the properties that are in escrow, and that exceeds the amount of properties we've closed in the last 7 days. So we're watching as the market uptick is continuing. We do have that interest rate reduction, so that's slowly causing the mortgage rate to come down every single day. Little changes within the rate, so make sure you reach out to your lender and find out what's happening. I'm Connor with Honor. Thank you for watching today's update. We'll be back tomorrow. Please share with a friend if you can utilize my services within real estate buying or selling. Please let me know. I've been doing this since 1998, and I would love to help you through the process. Be well, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk to you soon. I'm Connor with Honor. Over and out. I don't think my glasses are straight. Can anybody verify?